Welcome to In the Green Room. I'm Kinga.
And I'm Chet.
And this is Martin. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Happy Thanksgiving. I know it's a few days early, but we're going to start celebrating in the green room today.
That's right.
Happy
Thanksgiving. I think it's one of my favorite holidays.
Right? You don't have to buy a bunch of presents, and you get to you just get to eat and drink.
And it's all about gratitude. I
Cheers.
feel like a lot of other holidays, people think it's all about like me, and it's all self-centered. But Thanksgiving is about gratitude and being, appreciative of everything and everyone in your life and the things you're most thankful for. So that's some of the stuff we'll talk about today.
And God.
Absolutely. I think, Thanksgiving is one of those holidays that it's too bad we have to have it because we should be thankful every single day. And if we were able to be thankful every single day, there'd be a lot less suffering in the world, I think.
We really take it for granted, and we're so fortunate to live in this country. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, absolutely.
yeah,
The
United States is so amazing, and there's a lot of people here that
High
don't
five.
really appreciate it and don't have a lot of gratitude for
absolutely.
it.
Cheers.
And there's so many people that
Cheers. We're playing the
would
cheers game.
literally give their life to try to come here and migrate here, and there are millions of people that do it every year.
Yep.
You got to drink on
This
it.
week, I was getting my hair cut by a young gentleman who is from Israel, and we were talking. Super nice guy, young, and he said the biggest thing that surprised him about America is how, for granted, the Americans take the lifestyle. He is just so thankful to be here. He's happy, feels blessed. You can just tell that this guy is full of gratitude for life and the world, and he grew up in a very different world. We were talking about Israeli women, and I think most, if not all, Israeli women and men have to go in the military for at least 2 years. And so you have men and women that are coming out of there that know how to fight, that are confident, that know discipline, men and women. Imagine the type of, you couldn't do that here, but imagine, if we had more acceptance of that, more thankfulness of that, more gratefulness of just how easy a lot of our lives are versus everybody has to go into the military because we have to defend
I
ourselves.
grew up.
And touching on people need to be more grateful of the opportunities that are here. Like, it's so rare
all
for people to be able
opportunity.
to start your own company, pursue your passions and do whatever you want. That's such a rare thing to be able to do. And a lot of people need to be more grateful of that.
Well, I'm an example of that. And I was just trying to say, and I'm glad that you interrupted with that great comment. My parents were both born in Europe, and we were reminded all the time about how fortunate and lucky we were to live in America by my parents, because they, came from my mom Hungary, my dad Poland, and they met in Canada, and all they wanted to do was come to America.
Yeah.
And we would go. I was so fortunate and blessed to go every summer to Europe. My dad is a cardiologist, and he would take off for the entire summer. My dad was all about experiences. He preferred experiences to possessions. And so that rubbed off on me.
Right.
And we went every single summer. I'm still pinching myself of all those experiences in Europe. And we loved Europe, and we enjoyed it. And we, there's so much culture and education, and the people. We loved every minute of it. But we were so happy to come home. We were so happy, and we really learned to really appreciate
absolutely.
America, and how we live here.
Yeah, I appreciate it every time I'm able to travel outside the country, which hasn't been for a while. But I love to talk to people. I remember several years ago, I was in an Italian restaurant up in Scottsdale, and the waiter was from Italy, and he and I were just talking and chit-chatting, and he said the same thing, that he was really surprised at how Americans just didn't really
we take it for granted.
Yeah, they take so much for granted. He said that
I don't.
one
Do
time
you?
in his
No, we
Do you?
don't.
We don't.
We're
don't.
trying to inspire more people
Yeah.
to love it and be
Yeah.
appreciative and, engage and
Yeah.
be excited about
So-
living here.
So should we call this our Thanksgiving Thankful to be American show?
Sure.
I like it. I like it.
How about just thankful to be?
Yeah.
Whether you're an
love it.
American, whether you're Canadian, whoever you are, this is a worldwide network. It's all over the world. So it's not
So
just
true.
about America, although I love
Yeah.
America. But I
That's
love a lot of
right.
the other countries that I've been to as well, and they're beautiful and they have their own charms, but they have their own issues. Like back to this gentleman from Italy.
Yes, back to
He
your story,
said
and I
that
didn't interrupt you.
it's okay. It's he said that when he was in Italy, there was a water break, and so his whole block, the water line was broken to, and they didn't have water for a year. They
Oh my
had everybody
goodness.
in the neighborhood had to get a bucket and carry it down to the local, faucet and fill up there and bring it home. And it wasn't until they could basically raise enough money to pay off the corrupt plumbers and the people in the city that they finally get it.
That's
fixed.
crazy.
So when he moved here, he was just so appreciative because he could just call a plumber, call the city of Phoenix, bam, it happens. So we have to be not only grateful, like you said, for America. I think we're an amazing country, but I think we've got everybody who's out there should just be grateful for where you're at, and then make an intention to make it better.
I love that.
Thankful and grateful every
Well,
day.
I was kind of touching specifically on America a little bit because Thanksgiving is, largely considered an American holiday, but a lot of other cultures celebrate our holidays now because American art and movies and culture has spread so wide. Because, America is such a hot spot for creativity and free thinking and entrepreneurship, and that has really spread across the rest of the world. And it's important to, appreciate that.
I want to say my beautiful hairdresser. I'm not going to say where she works because I want to be able to get an appointment. But she is from Europe. Her name's Tatiana, and she
love
always
that name.
speaks about how grateful. Oh, she's gorgeous. She's sweet. She's smart. She's loving. Oh my gosh, brilliant lady. Love her. Love every minute with her. She always speaks about how when they go to visit their family and their parents, everyone says, "Oh, you're so lucky to be in America, and we are trying to go there. How do you get there?" And everybody wants to meet with she and her husband to find out what they can do to get here, and they can't get here.
And here there's some idiot that's like, my day's ruined. My DoorDash driver was 5 minutes late or something like that. You're like, oh my God, seriously?
Yeah, it's amazing the petty things that can set us off. And back in my younger days, I'm guilty. It's not until I was able to receive coaching and be a coach that I really, was able to embrace this really grateful nature.
Wait, this is a great topic to touch on. Thanksgiving, be the bigger person. Don't be petty. Don't let that family member get cut away at you with some little petty argument that devolves into a whole situation.
Absolutely.
Just be the bigger person and go outside and smoke a joint or go into the bar and make a drink. Just don't even engage with them because we all know that there's going to be that one relative that's probably going to be annoying or ask the wrong question or say something a little racist or something, and just don't even engage it.
Yeah.
Or if you have the Fox News uncle,
Oh,
and he starts
that's
going,
rough.
"Oh, they stole the election." Just don't even engage. Just avoid it altogether.
Yeah,
So,
that's one of the things that we teach in coaching is that there's this beautiful Japanese art form called Aikido, and
Aikido.
and it's only defensive moves. There are no attacks in Aikido. So it's basically using your opponent's energy against them and not accepting energy and not being there when not being there when the fist is there. And it applies to exactly what you're saying. If that uncle is spewing out energy, remove yourself from the scene and don't accept the energy. As soon as you engage, all of a sudden now you've got to expend as much energy as that crazy uncle, and then you wonder why you're exhausted and hate Thanksgiving.
yeah, all of a
right?
sudden your heart's racing.
Yes.
Why am I stressed out?
And you're
I didn't even
aging
have words
yourself, and then you're getting more wrinkles.
100%.
And then you got to go get Botox. So
Exactly.
save yourself some money. Take a drink.
today. It just feels good to be the bigger.
0 to Botox in 60 seconds.
It feels better to be the bigger person too, and just be like, this is not even worth my time. I'm bigger and better.
Well,
than this.
it's about setting boundaries for yourself, right? I mean, I think part of being able to be grateful about your life is if you're under the control of someone else, meaning that if they say something, you react and you have no control over that reaction. then you're a slave to that, right? And then if you can step back and be grateful for that crazy uncle, be grateful that you can get away from that crazy uncle, be grateful that somebody in this country can have a different opinion than you. All of a sudden, it looks very different.
Amen to that.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And then, there's some people you can engage in a civil dialogue. There's some people that you can't. The people that you can't, you avoid. The people that you can, you embrace. It's hard in practice, but it's simple in concept.
Well, and something that also I want to mention for Thanksgiving, because when you're in a relationship, whether it's boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, you have two sides of your family. And people get all stressed out at trying to fit in. We got to go to this side, we got to go to that
That used
side.
to stress me out so much when I had little
Yes.
kids and I wasn't as awakened as I am now. I mean, we would go. We'd go to one dinner, eat, have to leave, then go to the next dinner, eat, come back, feel like crap because I just ate 2 full Thanksgiving dinners,
And,
right?
and it's like such a schedule. It's like just go to the more fun parent.
Exactly. Now we just go one place. It's simple. We're there for a good while, and then we go home and we relax. And I have other places to go, but I choose to just spend it with my family and have a really good time with them. And I could go to 10 different places, but oh my goodness, that just used to stress me out, and I just won't do
Right.
it anymore. And I do miss that I don't see everybody, but I'm going to see them at some other time between now and Christmas. We're a very social group anyway, so it doesn't have to be on that day. We've had Thanksgiving with one family on Thursday, and then a completely separate Thanksgiving on Friday. And man, how grateful I was it was my parents actually that said, you know what? Well, since that Thursday is way too busy for you, we'll have the dinner on Friday. I was like, whoa. I mean, I was so grateful for that. And we had
You're
a
the life
blast.
love coach, and you can help people that are having troubles with in their marriages or in their relationships. And
Absolutely,
yes,
because
yes,
I've
it's more
been
fun.
through it. I've been through it all before, and so I can offer, I think, a very unique perspective and a perspective understanding where people are coming from. And yesismorefun.com is a way to get a hold of me. And yeah, I can help most anybody. I've have young clients all the way to a client that's getting ready to retire in a couple years. And
So
I
love
them
coach,
all.
sex coach, Martin has helped me tremendously. And I want to say that I just feel so free on holidays. The only time after a breakup that you kind of get a little sad on holidays because you're used to being with both your kids 100% of the time on that holiday. And all of a sudden at that holiday, you're all alone for part of the day. And you're like, oh, I don't get to be with my kids.
Starting a pity party or something.
Well, no, I mean, I remember. I know exactly what you're talking about. When I was
Colin's
younger,
laughing.
when I was younger, I could definitely feel that way. But now that I'm
Laughing
older,
or cringing. I don't
Yeah.
know.
No, but what's so great is because I've told some friends that
Mm-hmm.
at I don't see the kids on Thanksgiving until like 5 o'clock. Everybody invites me,
Right.
And now I have all these
And then-
places to go.
exactly.
And then they're like, "Where are you, Mom?" At like
what are you
4.
complaining
all of a sudden
about?
they're
Well, that's the thing. I mean, it's so easy
Consistency.
to have that. I think you're right, Chet. It's so easy to fall into that negative mindset
Yeah.
when
Right.
all of these beautiful options are available to you, but you've got a judgment. You have your heart set on something, and instead of being grateful, you're angry because the world didn't happen when you wanted it, how you wanted it, while you wanted it. Like right now, right here, if it's not Circle K, I'm pissed.
Why am I not on a yacht right now? Okay, well, you
Exactly.
gotta make yourself worthy of being on a yacht, all right?
okay. But hold on, I do think when one parent is since the divorce, I feel like every Thanksgiving, I'm the one that says, okay, figure out the other side first because there's some out of towners. And so, fine, I don't see the kids until about 5.
Right.
And then, we party till 2, so it's all good. And then I spent the night with them, but all the nights, Thanksgiving and Christmas. But bottom line is, in the future, it might be where maybe they need to take turns, like where they see me first. Maybe I'm married and that won't work at 5 o'clock.
Right.
Maybe they need to say, oh, we'll see Mom first.
I don't understand what point you're trying to make.
She's trying to be manipulative.
Yeah.
She's pulling the
you're
mom
not-
card
yeah,
hard
You're not
right now.
practicing what we talked about in the beginning of the episode.
Pick
You
a
just need to
card,
have
any card at all, as long as it's the mom card, motherfucker.
Yeah. You just need to have gratitude that you're gonna get to have a fun plan with your kids at all. You know?
Well, I would.
Exactly,
Yeah.
because
See?
there's
Whether
some
it's
kids
at-
that don't go home on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
There's,
Whether it's at noon or at 4 p.m., it's gonna be fun either way. You just gotta have a positive
right.
mindset about
I'm
it.
excited to see them at 4,
Well,
and
yeah.
I'm
And
just to drum
also-
up some. I'm trying to drum
And
up
also,
some
you
drama.
have a list of other relatives that you could go see as well.
And I do, and actually, it's.
So then, what are you complaining about?
she just said she was trying to drum up some drama. That's exactly. She was making the show exciting for everyone. Will Chet hit her? Fortunately, he's drinking wine and
no,
he's feeling really good right
Okay,
now.
I'm trying to fast forward. Let's say down the road I get married, and maybe the tradition's
Oh,
gonna
that's
change.
never going to happen. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding.
No, but seriously, let's say I'm in a very serious relationship with somebody, and maybe
Let's
I want to
say
do.
elephants fly out of my butt. Oh, I'm sorry. What were you saying? I mean, come on.
If there was a conflict, then we'd just probably have to take turns. I don't know, but
Okay,
we'll
figure-
take care of
okay,
the issue
okay.
when it arises.
Okay,
There's no need to worry about a problem that doesn't exist.
So we're solving it right now.
Exactly.
Chet
What are we
said-
gonna do if an asteroid falls out of the sky? I don't know. Probably die. Why are we gonna worry about it right now? We're not.
So
But
back
so many people do that.
Yeah.
So many people are living in, oh, what if? You know, they go to these, you know, worst case scenarios, and then they build all of these worst case scenarios rather than building best case scenarios. Why wouldn't you also build best case scenarios, or even better, just be in the moment that you're in? Most of the time, we're all stressed out, but we're actually sitting in a very peaceful, calm place, right?
Right.
And even if we do have stressors there, they only last a few seconds. Like if
Right.
somebody yells at you, it's only 5 or 6 seconds that they're yelling at you, and then it's over. But man, you know, how you feel after that could last for hours, right? And so it's continually trying to pull yourself into the present, being here, like being here in the podcast versus worrying about 5 Thanksgivings when you've married some guy
Yeah.
and da-da-da, and da-da-da, right? It's
I guess there's people out there that are listening, and maybe they're dealing with holidays where it causes them stress, and it's like, really focus on the positive.
absolutely.
And being thankful, on being grateful, and you were the coach. I mean,
Yeah, it's being grateful again, being in the moment, being grateful for where you're at right this second. You know, wherever you're listening to this, whether you're driving a car, whether you're just sitting in your house, you know, you look around. You know, look around your street that you're driving down. How amazing is it? There's trees, there's people, there's flourishing businesses. Those are all things to be grateful for.
And I guess I was just trying to bring it up because Chet is stuck on air right now, and he's in that spot, and I want him to know I'm grateful and I'm thankful, and I enjoy all our Thanksgivings and our Christmases. But, you know, we might have to shake up the routine down the road. I don't know. And I just want him to know that he needs to
she's
think
giving
about
him
it.
many years
Hypothetical
worry.
situation. Wow. So fascinating.
So let's fast forward on to the next. So, Chet, what are you thankful for this holiday?
Well, I wanted to touch on. I'm wearing this comedy shirt because I am, you know, a massive fan of stand-up comedy, sketch comedy, you know, all forms of comedy. I'm obsessed with.
And
the
you are
one-
funny. You're a
And
comedian.
the number one thing that makes that possible and allows comedy to push its boundaries is freedom of speech.
And we're thankful for that.
Well, yeah, so grateful for that, and it's really under fire right now. You know, there's a lot of people that are on the side of cancel culture. It's basically if you say something that doesn't directly align with our beliefs or our agenda, you're canceled. You're done for it.
Well,
We're gonna
and-
ruin you in your career.
Right.
And that's not freedom.
Yeah, that's not at all. And it's really a scary trend that's happening, and it's really scary how popular it is.
What can we do to change that?
We'll talk about how important it is to have freedom of speech and being able to have the discourse and the disagreement and say, oh, you know what, you feel differently or you have a different viewpoint on this topic. You know what, we disagree, but we can still get along at the end of the day and find the beauty in disagreeing and find the beauty in having different opinions. if we all were the same cookie cutter individual, this would be so
boring.
Yeah, and so I'm so grateful that we live in one of the last few places where we have true freedom of speech. In so many countries, they're not even allowed to criticize the government. They're not even allowed to make political jokes.
Really?
There's a
Yeah.
there's
Really?
a Chinese
Yeah.
tennis star that just came out 3 or 4 months ago that said, one of the higher ranking government officials sexually assaulted her, and she's gone. She's disappeared. The tennis community is going, where is she? Who knows where she's at? That's the kind of harsh conditions that those people in Russia, in Ukraine, in China, they're dealing with. You say something, you get thrown in jail, that nobody knows where you are, you get reprogrammed, and then you got to come out and apologize for how horrible you were.
And it's
Oh,
it's
yeah.
people that are powerful, high level,
Oh, yeah.
high skilled tennis players.
Absolutely.
Do you hear what happened?
The billionaire.
with Jack Ma.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I didn't hear.
billionaire.
Tell me,
okay.
tell me.
So
I don't know.
Chinese billionaire
Tell
Jack
me.
Ma. He said something like slight criticism of the Chinese government or a new policy they were enacting, and he
On air, or where did he say it?
I think it was on air, but he straight up disappeared for like months. And when he resurfaced, a lot of people were like thinking that it's either like a clone or like a body double. Like, they
robot?
don't even think it's the same person. Like
Yeah,
they think the real Jack Ma was gone.
Exactly.
Like
Really?
it's pulverized.
Absolutely.
Are
And
you
so-
serious? How
I'm
come-
absolutely.
So what do I
serious.
look up to find out more details?
No, and the
Well, no,
scary
I
thing
was
is the
just
U.S. just goes, "Oh, we'll still do business with you because our relationship is so important at this point. We just have no choice, or they've tried to convince us we have no choice but to look the other way."
But see, this happens. This is why so many people like America, because this happens in Brazil. This happens in Italy. I mean,
right.
the corruption. I mean, we have corruption here. Don't get me wrong.
But nothing like the other countries. No.
It's so much more intense, and it's so much more to deal with in those other countries. And so again, it goes back to being grateful. It goes back to
And in a lot of those countries, it's like a hopeless situation. Here, if you run into some corruption in a town, you can go one town over and run it in the newspaper there, and it'll become a story. But a lot of those places, the corruption and the ways things are so entrenched and have been that way for a long time, there's just no breaking it. Here, even if you run into some corruption, you can still try to uproot it.
I love it.
absolutely, or work
Okay.
around it. But
Smart.
it's still about going back, like you were saying, and having civil discourse. We were talking earlier about what's going on with Dave Chappelle. I am a huge fan of Dave Chappelle. I'm a huge fan of the trans community.
But
So-
inform us of the story.
Oh, yeah, so a little
For
background.
those that don't
Yes.
know.
His new special, The Closer, he basically goes into a really detailed story about one of his friends that was transgender.
And make it very clean because
Yeah.
I don't want to get us thrown off.
Yeah, so so in Dave Chappelle's special he released a few years ago, I'm pretty sure it was Sticks and Stones.
Right.
He tells a few different transgender jokes that were, a little bit offensive.
Yes.
But they were funny. And his friend.
But that's what a comedian does.
Yeah,
they make fun of
exactly.
everybody.
Well, exactly,
I'm
Dave
half
Chappelle.
Polish, and I hear the Polish jokes all
Exactly,
the
that's
time.
freedom of speech.
I mean,
Exactly. And he
Exactly.
made fun of everybody in that special. He didn't just only target, it wasn't an hour-long special making fun of transgender
Well, and he makes fun
people.
of himself. He
Yeah.
makes
on the
funs of
show,
it.
Chet roast. You guys roast me all the time. I mean,
Absolutely.
it's like you got to
It's
have
not
thicker
going to stop
skin.
either. So. And so,
And you
anyways,
should be thankful for it.
so when Sticks and Stones came out, he had a bunch of people in the transgender community try to cancel him then and come forward and say, oh, he's hateful, he's, transphobic, all this stuff. And Chappelle had a transgender friend named Daphne that stood up for him on Twitter and said, Chappelle is just a master of his craft. He doesn't punch down on people, he punches lines. And the transgender community was so hateful and mean towards her, she killed herself 3 days later. And so in the new special, Dave Chappelle tells the whole story regarding the background of their friendship and all the
It's a
events that led
beautiful
up
How
to
do,
that.
how do we know
story.
it wasn't a murder?
It
Could
was
have
a
been.
suicide. She jumped off the
Yeah,
building.
yeah, it was.
Somebody
it
could
was
have pushed her.
Maybe.
Um,
Only
I don't
murders
know
in
why
the
you're-
building
Let's
coming
not
up
speculate
next.
about that.
Okay,
The
okay,
whole
okay.
point of the story
Okay,
is that
Okay, thank you.
the transgender people were so like mean and
Mm-hmm.
judgmental of her for voicing her opinion, just saying, I'm friends with Dave Chappelle. He's not hateful. He's just a comedian using freedom of speech to make funny jokes about everyone. And they were so mean and judgmental to her that it pushed her to kill herself. And so now they're
So
trying to
tragic.
cancel Chappelle even harder because he
Told the story
He
of her.
told the story and told the truth about what happened and how, just brutal and vicious they were. And, you can't,
Who's the they?
all the people on social media, all the people that were against Chappelle trying to cancel him.
Right, it's a
when
group
she's
of people. Who knows whether some of them could be trans, some of them might not be. I mean, who knows what the
It's this scary mob mentality
So
of
are they
cancel
the
culture. It's-
liberals?
No, we're not trying to title it. Why are you trying to
Okay.
title it? Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying to find out who
it's
these
a
people
cancel,
are.
It's a cancel culture mob mentality of
Okay.
people that think that they are justified in censoring other people and they're justified in telling other people what they can say or what they can think.
Right, because
and
they
that's
have
not what this
judgments
country is
around
about.
And that's
Yeah.
interesting because I'm not going to go into further detail, but our last show last Tuesday, if you want to look it up, is Barry Goldwater junior What do we title it? Protecting Our Freedoms. And it was a great show. It was a great show, but he said a couple things that I called him later on and I said, I might want to erase this. I might want to erase that. And he goes, don't censor me. He said, don't erase any of that. Because at one point he said the F word towards our president.
right?
And I said, I want to erase that. And he goes, don't censor me. So I said, okay. And I didn't. And it's,
Now it's out there, and
It's raw.
But that's it. We can think about it, we can talk about it, but in the end, Dave Chappelle has raised the conversation in the United States around the trans community more than any person other than maybe RuPaul. And he did it from a place of the heart. He did it from a place where he actually cared about this person Daphne, and if you watch the
Daphne?
whole thing,
Yeah.
if you
just so
watch
you
the
know,
whole
I love
thing,
when you go like this because as we're listening to the show, you can hear the pound, pound, pound.
sorry.
Which I love.
Okay.
Okay. It's all good.
But when you actually listen to it with the vision of love rather than hate, you can really see that the reason that Dave Chappelle did this special was to help process his grief over the death of his friend. And this anger against the trans community, or what he thought, or whatever community it was, it might not even been the trans community that said all these hateful things to Daphne, right? But there are these sad things in this world.
Well, I want to say, let's fast forward to this. What does a comedian do? A comedian makes fun of people. And that's what it is.
Well, that's what's so scary about this mob mentality that's happening, and it's like a cancel culture mob mentality where they come after comedians for saying a joke that offended the wrong person.
Right.
Or a lot of it is
Well,
just
that would be
'cause-
everybody.
A lot of it is though because they think it is just going to make themselves famous. A lot of it's
Yes.
selfish
Yes.
thinking.
Yes.
Just, if I clip out this video of him saying this offensive line in a 20-minute joke, maybe my tweet will go viral. It's like this pathetic, selfish thinking of trying to be have moral high ground or something like that, and it's disgusting. People need to accept that people are gonna have different opinions than you, and just accept that. If you don't like it, don't listen.
Right.
Unfollow
There's-
them on Twitter.
Yeah, in the Constitution, there's nothing about having the right to be offended.
Yeah.
Being offended is just a judgment. It's like a very wise man used to say, opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one, right? And they're all
Right.
different.
Yeah.
And when it becomes dangerous is when you think that yours is the most important, and it becomes dangerous when you put your priorities over everybody else's, right? I mean, that's the whole problem with business right now in why people can't find workers, because they don't understand how to make a great work environment. It's the answers to everyone's problems are very simple, but man, you got to slow down. You got to be grateful. You've got to get rid of your judgments. All of these things, which are not easy to do. When you're in them, they feel very real, but really they're just made up.
And really, if you are having a stressful week or a bad day and you can just calm yourself down, I'm not a life love coach, sex coach, but I will tell you, if you can just make a list of all the things you're grateful for, thankful for, and why you're blessed, you instantly feel better. You put
That's
on a
right.
nice song, beautiful music, and you just make that list of your loved ones and people that are good to you,
Mm-hmm.
and just not possessions, but your health,
Yep.
your family, your music, just things that make you happy. You already feel better.
That's right. Pick a guru: Tony Robbins, Gandhi,
Rock Thomas, he's been on the
Rock
show.
Thomas.
Yep.
All of these people, all these
The
self-help,
Rock.
amazing gurus, they all talk about being grateful. Every single one of them.
Exactly.
There's a reason for that. There's a reason that the people who are happy and successful show gratefulness. You see all these people that are amazingly successful and are miserable. Those people have no gratitude. None.
So
So
true. Because if
true.
they had any gratitude for their situation and their success, they'd be able to find happiness.
Exactly.
In fact,
Yeah.
I'm going to read talk amongst yourself
And
till I find this
another
quote.
like person that's really inspiring and as far as like self-help and chasing passions, and he puts them in such a relatable scope as Joe Rogan. You know, I love just watching videos of him talking about how to chase your dreams and pursue your passions and stuff like that, because it really is mind or eye-opening and shows you a framework of how to do it. Because so many people have a goal or passion, but they don't actually know how to make that happen.
Well, absolutely. And, Joe Rogan's one of those guys who he's had coaches over the life, whether it's MMA, whether it's comedy, whether it's, being in a podcast. He's gone out, what you can say anything you want about Joe Rogan, but that guy searches for information.
He's
That
always on a
guy-
quest to get better.
Yes,
And that's
always.
why he's so smart. And his continued quest to get smarter and learn more knowledge about the world is just amazing.
Okay, I read this
and
quote
so
from
inspiring.
Rock Thomas the other day. Can you read this?
You got it. Read
Okay, I can read it. Nothing in the world can take place of persistence. Talent
take the
will
place.
not, genius will not, education will not. Persistence is key.
Yes.
That's Rock Thomas. I thought that was a great quote. I
It is a
read
great
that
quote,
and I was
but
just
persistence with gratefulness, not persistence with bitterness, not persistence with
true.
anger, because there's that too, right? You can
True.
persist with anger and really become a pain in people's ass. It's and I believe Rock would agree with me on this.
And also, some people that keep just trying to push themselves through tasks without being present in the moment. It's kind of like a quality of work over quantity of work kind of thing. Like, as a music producer, I would way rather have a 3-hour studio session where my flow is amazing and I'm just really focused than have an 8-hour session where I'm distracted and nothing's clicking. So it's all about quality of work over quantity of work. I mean, you definitely have to be persistent at staying on top of a task to master it, but you have to be present and know when your quality of work is dipping and stuff like that.
Well,
So-
I think persistence has an interesting definition, right? A lot of people think of persistence as this really intense. Hey man, you want to buy this? 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 Right? But it also can be just an internal drive to continue to move forward.
I like dedication better as a word, because dedication just implies that you are truly engrossed with the topic, but you're not necessarily like it's eating away at you.
I like persistence. No. This show would not exist today without persistence. No, because there's so many guests that first said, "Oh no, I'm shy. I don't want to come on the show. I can't talk on a show."
Well, see,
and I kept persisting.
Well,
like Jerry
I'll
Moyes
make
is
the
an
argument that because you were dedicated to the show, that is why you were so persistent.
And they were able to see your dedication,
Right.
and that is what led them to coming on the show.
Right.
Well, I think it's persistence.
Again, the only reason why I think
They're
that
synonyms,
yeah, they are synonyms. But the reason I like dedication, is because it has a more positive connotation.
Yeah, exactly.
Persistence, again, you can. It's a good word. Don't get me wrong, but at face value, it's pushy, right?
Yeah.
Whereas dedication is all about heart.
Yeah.
Dedication is about gratefulness.
Intention.
Right?
Yeah.
Persistent. You can't have angry dedication.
Or
Right?
annoying dedication.
Or annoying
but
dedication.
Persistence can be
yeah,
very annoying.
Yeah, and very angering, right? So it's just And you
Well,
know,
if-
That
language is a
Jehovah's
funny thing.
Witness.
No, if-
Hello. That's the
No, and I'm not
persistence.
saying-
That's
and
the
I'm not-
persistence we
no,
don't
no, no.
like.
Right.
But persistence with charm and a smile and laughter.
Absolutely.
It
Absolutely.
can work out for you.
Persistence with adjectives.
Yes.
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 Exactly.
Yes. And I was-
Whether you're persistent or dedicated, the main point is that you have to stay true to your passion
Mm-hmm.
and really put the time in to master it. You know,
Right.
if you don't put the time in, you're not going to get better.
Well, it's like Andy Warhol said, 90% of success is showing up. And that means showing up to the moment, being there, not being in your head, worrying about the past, worrying about the future, being here. Like when we're doing this podcast, I'm right here with everybody.
Yes.
I'm not thinking about what's going to happen tomorrow. I'm not thinking about 4 Thanksgivings ago.
Good callback.
I'm okay.
just teasing
There's
you.
a reason why I brought that up because I think in the future
No.
we might be in Hawaii, we might be in Bora Bora for Thanksgiving, and I don't want you to be like, oh, I can't go because I have to.
Okay, it's
be
a
there."
hypothetical
We
situation.
might
still,
be
so,
in Bora Bora, lovey.
I'm being serious. This is a true story. So what is that saying? I was trying to find it, but I couldn't find it. So I'm just going to say there's a saying where an optimist will find opportunity in a bad situation. And a pessimist will only see the problems.
Yep, absolutely.
What's that saying? There's a
It sounds like the
I think you just
definition of
said it.
optimism and pessimism. It's kind of like, there's the glass half full. There's the person who says the glass is half full. There's the person who says
Yeah.
the glass is half empty. And then there's a person who says, who's been drinking my wine, damn it?
and then there's a person that says there's a hole in the glass.
That's right.
It's pouring out.
That's the delusional person.
That's right.
Well, no,
That's right.
our friend and sponsor, RV and Go, Paul Kassir, always says to the bartender, bartender, there's a hole in my glass. My wine's disappearing.
Yes.
That's a funny line.
Paul's a magician. He can make wine disappear faster than anybody I've seen. And good wine. That man likes the good stuff too.
Paul's a good time. Shout out
Cheers.
Paul.
Oh yeah, shout out to Paul.
Shout out
He's
to
a
Paul.
great time.
And RV and Go. Ooh.
And Paul can take a joke.
That was a flattering one, though. So,
Well, that's true.
yeah.
That's true.
So back to freedom of speech and cancel culture and being thankful and grateful. Where do we go from here? Because we love our country and we want to just improve all the time.
Right.
We want solutions, not problems. What can we do?
Here is the solution,
Yes.
and this is the beautiful thing: is that if you look at Harvard Review, you look at Stanford, the reports and the studies that come out, is that the number one thing a person can do to improve the situation of the people that are around them is to work on themselves. It's whether you're a leader, whether you're a mom, whether you're just in a group and you're wanting to change the dynamics, you can't change anybody else. The best thing to do, and studies will back me up time after time, is to work on yourself. Read, learn, listen to podcasts, listen to this show.
In the Green and Black Green Facebook, Instagram.
And be vocal about it. Like right
Yes.
now, we're spreading the word and like being vocal about that we support freedom of speech. Or I'm a fan of offensive language. I think it's good. Even people that are truly bigoted and hateful, it lets me know their opinions, and I don't want to be around them. Like I don't want them to shut up and not say
Absolutely.
that stuff. I want to know what their opinions are so I can avoid those
Right.
people.
And
True,
there's a
true.
difference between, like what you're saying, cancel culture, actively going after someone, versus just not listening to them. Like if you don't like Dave Chappelle, don't listen to him.
Yeah.
Don't watch one of his shows. Don't give him any money. Like vote with your dollar rather than inciting this mob mentality, inciting this almost violence, right?
Yeah, and it really takes the air out of the people that really do deserve to be canceled, the people that do evil, monstrous things, like R. Kelly. That's somebody that should get canceled. You know?
yeah,
People
exactly.
that do heinous, terrible things, it almost waters them down when you're trying to like act like Dave Chappelle saying on an off-color defensive joke is on the same level as like what R. Kelly did. It's not. So that's another massive issue with this.
Okay,
is
for
that-
those out there, dumb it down. For those out there that don't know what he did, Kelly, tell us.
Yeah, I mean, he was like arrested because he was banging kids, basically.
He was the Bill Cosby of rappers, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, he
Well-
drugged. He had young women. He took advantage of his his status and his money, and he did some pretty stupid things.
The
But how
thing
does
that put
that
him away is
compare
they found.
to Chappelle.
Because the people basically trying to cancel Chappelle on the same level, just for saying some offensive jokes.
Same hatefulness.
My point is that it takes the air out of the only people that should actually be canceled are people that are truly evil and do bad things, like R. Kelly. That's
Right.
the
It's
point
kind
I'm
of
trying to
the
make.
boy who cried wolf kind of situation, right? Is
Yeah.
if you take every situation and you react to it explosively.
Out of
But
10,
there are
yeah.
some
Right.
people that are rated G that do that.
Absolutely. I've
it's their
seen
full-time-
moms
yes.
who have a 10 reaction, whether the kid writes on the wall or spills a glass of milk. Well, those are two very different things, right?
Exactly.
But they reacted at 10. That's what I'm talking about. Is if we've got to work on ourselves so we don't react to a 10 to things, because there's things that all of us, every single person in this room and that's listening, there's things that will set us off to a 10. Right?
Well, like I mentioned one of our previous shows to an acquaintance, and I said, "Oh, we did a show, and it was just fun banter and humorous stories, and weed versus wine with my adult kids, and you know everyone was smoking a joint, and you know some people disapprove of that.
Well, absolutely.
And
That's
so-
closed-minded people.
Exactly.
Well, right.
It's- and that's
those
okay.
aren't, and probably those aren't the people that are going to listen to the message that we have, right?
Yeah.
We have a message of inclusion. We have a message of experimentation. We have a message of yes is more fun.
Yes.
Don't be judgmental. If somebody has a different opinion and the opinion that you don't like, accept that. And just say, oh, I'm not going to hang out with them. I'm not going to interact with them. But they're going to go have their opinion over there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, and what I've found is that the people who judge other people most harshly also judge themselves most harshly. And I'm reminded of a quote, judge not, yes, lest ye be judged. I don't think that has to do with this outside influence. I think that's specifically talking to all of us, saying if you judge someone else, you're going to judge yourself, and it's going to make you miserable.
Yeah,
If you have all these judgments on other people, you have all these judgments on yourself, and if it's not exactly perfect, you're miserable.
And that feeling, or that's the word is sanctimonious, when somebody thinks they're better than you
Sanctimonious, check.
because of their religion or because of their belief system, and they think they're superior. And that in and of itself is a really shallow, hollow thought. And
Well, I
belief.
agree. Do you know what my response was to this? Not an acquaintance. And I said, really? She said, I would maybe delete that because you might lose some followers that don't believe in weed. And I said, well, that is one of my favorite shows. I treasure that show because when
Well, you
I'm
should have said that. Why are you so closed-minded? Why can't you accept that other people like to do different things than you?
Well, what I said is the show is all about laughter and humor and telling positive stories and sharing love. And I said, if somebody has a problem with that, they shouldn't be listening to my show.
And weed and wine.
We're
help-
pro
help
weed and
that.
wine here.
It
in
helps
case
that,
anybody
yeah.
did not know. We like to burn and drink them,
And
but we are pro.
because we're pro freedom, right?
Yeah.
I'm
Yes,
free
yes.
to
Totally freedom.
Right, as long as I don't hurt anybody else, right?
Yes.
So what I do, what makes me happy, what makes me thrive, isn't what makes you thrive, and that's okay. And I
Yes.
think that's where a lot of people, especially in this Western culture, get spun up about. Is like, well, if it's not the way that I see it, then it can't be.
Yeah, there might be some other podcast out there that's doing nicotine and whiskey, and we applaud you. We cheer you on.
Right, and I would go on there for the whiskey, but I can't do nicotine.
Yeah,
but,
me neither.
Right?
That's what I'm saying. Just because somebody's different, you don't have to knock it.
But every show
Support
is
it.
not
Celebrate
about
it.
that. Every show is
Right.
not about that. I mean, we do shows on health and wellness and
Well, we know that. We're
and-
just trying
Right.
to touch on the fact
But
that
I'm
we
just
support
saying.
people. We support anybody in
Every-
their opinions
Right.
and their actions, as long as they're not harming other people.
But
Exactly.
I'm just saying right here and now that it's a known. Everybody knows that cannabis is a healer. It's a health for people that have health issues, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's the same thing as wine. Now, if somebody has an addictive personality and they're having a problem, we don't approve of that.
Right.
That's different. But don't judge. Don't judge.
Well, absolutely. And I even people who have addictive personalities, we believe it or not, we're all addicts to something.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just
Is it a
addict
positive
is habit.
addiction?
Right. There's
Yeah.
positive addictions, there are negative addictions.
Like,
We're addicted to breathing.
I'm
So do
super addicted to working out right now.
super addicted
I'm
to breathing.
so addicted to working out, and it's amazing for me.
That's
Like,
right.
Do you get a
Vita-
lot of being a sex expert? Do you have a lot of or sex coach? Do you have a lot of sex addicts?
I do not. And the sex addiction, I am not equipped to, or not equipped. I am not trained to help addicts, right? So whether it's a sex addict, alcohol addictions, I mean, those are pretty serious things that need a clinical, someone who's trained, someone who has more degrees than I do. If someone has that issue and they want help from me, I will try to help them, and I will basically try to help them find the right person that's going to be able to deal with what they're specifically dealing with. So those are it is a serious thing. And if you are an addict out there and you need help, yesismorefun.com, I will help you, but I'm going to refer you to somebody who's got training.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
So can we have
really
a song?
wise to know when you need outside help. That's a sign of a good coach, right there. Because
Well, absolutely. I'm not a silver bullet, right?
Yeah.
I'm a tool in a toolbox of hopefully multiple people helping someone.
Swiss Army knife.
Swiss Army knife, absolutely. All of
Says
my
that all the time.
all of my clients have a support system that includes me, but is not just me. They have a spouse. They have people at work. They have relationships that they're that they're pursuing. And I think that's important for everybody. We just
we
have
have
a
any
few
more?
sips. No, that was it.
So on
Well,
being
wait.
thankful and grateful, we only have how much time left? 10 minutes.
like 8 minutes.
Yeah, we
but
have about 8 minutes, and I have a song that we could play out that we played out at the state fair
Very
back
cool.
about a month ago, and
Can we play it?
we can. We'll use
Okay.
that to play out, and it's 5 minutes. So once we're at the 5 minute mark, I'll start it, and there's a minute intro because this is a warm up song, and we just wanted to improvise
Okay.
something. So this is completely improvised. We didn't plan it prior, so
I love it.
I'm excited to hear
so
it.
yeah, it'll be fun.
So I'm thankful. I'm grateful. And this
Yes.
Thanksgiving is going to be amazing because I have two amazing kids that I'm extremely proud of. They're smart. They're brilliant. They're happy, both of them. They have great jobs. They make music. They make other people happy. And we have lots of joyous, jovial laughter together. At least once or twice a week, and I'm really thankful for that. And I have great family, and I love the show In the Green Room and Martin.
That's right. Saving the planet.
One show at a
time.
That's right. Well, I am grateful like you. I'm grateful to my children. I'm grateful to my family. Sherry, I'll tell you, Sherry was a huge influence in me in being able to really enjoy the holidays more. When we first got together 11, almost 11 years ago now, Christmas and Thanksgiving was a very stressful time for me, and she was the one that says, what if that's not, what if we could do it differently, right? What if we could do?
What did you do before?
Well, like I think I mentioned before, I had 2 to 3 families.
Sounds like he was
to go
scrambling
to,
to
try
just
to go there.
scrambling,
Yes,
trying to please everybody, right? Versus trying to please myself. Now I tell people this is where I'm going to be. If you want to be there, great. The party starts when I get there.
That's
That's
a smart.
smart.
Way. Oh, that is smart. I should do that.
Yes,
I'll be at my house, and you can come there. And
exactly. And
Yeah.
this is when the party starts. The wine opens at 2 or whatever it is, right?
and be there or be square.
Exactly. Be there or be square. For
I
sure.
love that. What about you, Chet?
Well, of course, thankful for family and friends, and just where we live. And, we're so fortunate. We talked about it the whole episode, but just our freedom to pursue whatever we want, opportunity-wise, freedom of speech, freedom to criticize the government, freedom to say offensive things. Now more than ever do I cherish that because there's been such a crackdown in a lot of countries that used to be free. Like in Canada, did you know in Canada now it can be officially, you can be charged with assault if you accidentally misgender somebody. So if somebody,
I don't understand.
so if somebody that transitioned from a a man to a woman, if you accidentally call them a him, you could be charged with actual assault. They don't have freedom of speech there anymore.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's intense.
Are you sure?
Yeah, 100%. Literally.
Those Canadians, eh?
Yeah.
They're
Yeah,
a little
so
intense now.
that's
I
what I'm
thought they
saying.
were
There's-
nicer than that.
Yeah,
eh?
there are literally places where freedom of speech is getting cracked down on in a crazy
so
way.
you're saying if you say he to a
A
guy
her
that was
or
a
a
her
her.
They
now?
could literally call the police and say this person assaulted me.
Wow.
Yeah.
That better be accurate.
Yeah, literally look it up.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's a crazy world we live in.
I'm thankful for America. I'm thankful for freedom. I'm thankful for capitalism. I'm thankful for everything in this world,
Mm-hmm.
and making them being part of the show in the green room, and that we can all voice our opinions right now.
Exactly. It's a rare
5
thing.
minutes.
All right, 5 minutes. So I'm going to start.
We're gonna just start out just
This
to
is
kinda
from the
warm
show.
up with a little improvisational original
This is from Martin, Junk
yeah,
the
this
Band.
is Junk the Band.
Junk the
JunkTheBand.com.
Band
for what you got.
on In the Green Room Green.
That's right. We're going to play us out. Now, this is
Handsome Ron right here.
Ron.
He's gonna
Yep.
start it off.
Oh, it sounds good.
Yeah, we were very lucky. We were able to go directly into the board. And our sound guy, Skylar Evans, he's amazing. He's really
It's not
stepped
you
up.
too.
Huh?
It's not you too.
No, it's not you two, it's us.
Okay.
Yeah, this is. Yeah, we sound like a lot of different people. And it took us a while to get warmed up, get going. Steve is playing. He's one of our new drummers. He's playing electric kit here, and it
It
just
sounds so good.
Yeah, yeah. Our other drummer, he's got a little kid, so he's been battling COVID.
So everybody check out yesismorefun.com.
And Junk the Band.
That's right.
And Deep Chetty. Is it Deep Chetty?
Let's promote Junk the Band right now.
Who's singing?
That's me.
Oh. You sound great.
Thank you.
And we carry our solitary load.
Wow. It sounds so good.
I'm so happy with this.
World is gray and you don't want any more. That's okay, we have got you, and it's something we can ignore.
Who's jamming there?
That's Ron. We only had about half the band.
Be grateful,
Be grateful.
be grateful,
Be grateful.
be grateful
Be grateful.
what you got.
That's right.
Be grateful.
Be grateful,
Be grateful.
be grateful, be
Grateful
for what you got.
This is so perfect for the show today.
That's why I brought it.
The Thanksgiving show in the Green Room Green.
It was so cool singing this because I just was singing from the heart. I just let this kind of
Incredible.
roll.
Music and magic. That's right.
Oh wow. What'd you say right
We
there?
walk through the park of life and we don't realize how short it is. We carry around lots of heartbreak and pain, but it really should be filled with bliss. Don't think, don't feel, just do. That's what it takes.
Okay, we have to do a little bit of talking for our videos. We're listening to Martin's song. I forgot about that. And we are enjoying. Oh, we don't need to turn it off yet. Are we turning it off? Oh, okay. So I want to say, everybody out there, saving the planet. One show at a time. Please friend us on In the Green Room Green on Facebook, In the Green Room Green Instagram. We are on 15 podcast channels. We're on the Star World Networks, and we're gonna have a new YouTube channel. So check it out. I love
That's
it.
right. Yesismorefun.com,
Be grateful.
junktheband.com, Deep Chetty, all of it.
Don't forget to be grateful
Yeah.
For America
For Thanksgiving.
and freedom.
for being
people.
alive.
Thanksgiving, our health, our happiness, our love.
All
What
of
else?
And the ability to make your situation better. Even if you're not in a super happy place right now, be grateful that you have the ability to change that.
You have hope and awareness
There's
and happiness.
always hope. Always.
So give us 3 tips while you're grateful. Grateful.
Be grateful.
Show's over. Saving the planet one show at a time.
time.